Now right now I want to focus on the tool palette, okay? And we're not going to spend a lot of time on here because there aren't a whole lot of things that you need to learn. There's just a couple of tools at this stage that you really need to know. One concept I want to talk about is selections. Now selections are how you choose different areas of a layer, okay? So I'm going to go over here. Usually you have the square here, okay? So I'm going to click on that and go down to the circle. When I click the circle, you're going to see that there's these dancing ants kind of going around. That means that area is selected. So I'm going to make a new layer. And just to show you how this works, I'm going to click on the square and drag a square over the selected area. And as you can see, we get a circle. Why is that? Because we're only working with this area, okay? And if you fill in a color, it's only going to fill in that color, okay? Now, we can unselect that by hitting Control D. And now I can fill it with another color. I can, select another area and do the same thing. I mean, this is just kind of stupid, but it kind of shows you what it means, okay? Do the same thing, and we'll just kind of get out of there. Now, the main select tools, Control D. The main tools over here that are used for selecting are these guys. I don't really use these that much. You can also use these guys over here to make selections. This is just you draw this and you can make a selection with that. There's also the polygon select tool. You can use that like this if you want to do something with straight lines. A lot of these are kind of throwbacks from older versions of Photoshop. This is a magnetic one, so if you're tracing around something, it'll kind of stick to that. And I don't really use that one at all, ever, never. Anyway. Now there's one really cool one over here, and it's called the Magic Wand. And the Magic Wand you've probably seen in other programs. And this is another selection tool. Now how this works is this. Now I'm going to give you an example. I've got this guy here. Now this guy is not on a pure white background that covers the whole area, but he is on a white background. So here we are. Here's another picture. Now how do I make this guy look like he's on this background? Well, we have to get rid of the white, right? Okay, so the quickest way to do that is to click on the magic wand. There's other ways to do this. You can also make a shape around the guy. But let's just do this for now, okay? I'm going to click on the white, and this area is now selected. It's selected all this white. Now, if you zoom in, Control plus, you can see that it doesn't do a great job selecting it. It's going to miss a few places. See right here? That's not all that well done, but whatever, we can work with it. Now the key here is that, again, we're going to do something that's non-destructive. We're not just going to cut out the white. On this layer, we're going to create an alpha channel, okay? So this is selecting the white. What we want to do is select the dude here. So I'm going to inverse that. You can go up to select, and right here is where you have all the menu items related to selections. Select, inverse, and now it's going to be selecting the guy, and it's actually going to be selecting all this part too, because that was part of the selection. Anyway, here we go. Now I've got this selection. When I click on the alpha channel, it's going to make everything that's selected white, and everything that's black, everything that's not selected is going to be black. Okay, so let's see what happens. Boom. Okay, now you can see this is not perfect, but it's pretty darn good. And it gives you an idea of how selections work. Now, if you want to take this a step further, there are other options that have kind of come into Photoshop in the last couple of years. There's a option called Refine Mask, so let's make sure we're clicking that. Select Refine Mask, and what we can do is, I'm going to click here, shows you what the view is going to be of your guy. So let's just put him on our background like that, and I'm going to just draw around him like this and see what we get. Okay, here we go, a little more. And what this is doing is just picking these areas and really super concentrating on them and making sure that those areas are separated. This doesn't always work. Like here, this didn't work right here. So this has got a lot of great little features. You can feather. Feathering means that you make a kind of blurry line where the line was. You can feather that a little bit. You can make the contrast higher so you can kind of set the line where you want it. You can kind of move where the line of the alpha channel is. But you know, this is a little bit more advanced, so you can jump into this and play with it, but I just wanted you to know that that existed. Okay, so I'm going to click OK. And now this is looking better. Now what we can do is I'm going to click Control plus 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 plus. Now I'm going to hit the space bar to get the hand, move down here. And okay, what's going on here? This looks terrible. So here on our alpha channel, we've selected that. We've already learned how we can fill that in. I'm just going to take a brush and fill that in with white. And this is not perfect. This is just giving you a general idea of how these things work. Maybe I should make, I'll talk about brushes in a second, but I'm going to go here and I'm going to make this brush a little harder so it's not so blurry on the edges. Okay, that's pretty darn good. I think that'll work, you know. And now I'm going to tell you something that's an advanced feature here. We're going to go, what can we do to blend these two layers together? What would make these look like this guy wasn't in a studio and that he was actually in this area? Well, what we can do on top of both of these is we can start adding adjustment layers. So here's our friends, the adjustment layers. I'm going to click on that and oh, our friend curves. Let's click curves and let's kind of make these colors look like they're in the same place. I'm going to go to blue and do the thing I told you before, the thing that I always do. I'm going to raise the blue in the darks, in the blacks, and then I'm going to drag down in the middle to the yellows. And all of a sudden, this starts looking like it's actually in the same place. I mean, not perfect. We would need to work on this for a little bit. But you see, you're now doing fairly advanced stuff and making this image look like it actually belongs like that. So let's raise the red up. The more you can kind of blend these together and, you know, put the same colors on them, the more they're going to look like they're from the same space. So I would say that actually looks pretty decent. And we've only spent, what, 7 minutes on this. Okay, so moving on.